Howdy ho, you handsome hunk. Grab a snack and gain some chunk. If your day is great or really sunk, we hope to help you shake the funk. So if you're good to hear some junk, buckle up, it's the Junk Monk Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Junk Pod.
Well, that was a bust.
Okay.
Hello and welcome to the Junk Monk Podcast. I'm your host, Kandyce and Noah, who you know from Instagram at Hardens and Hard Hats.
And I'm Noah, your co-host, who you know from Right Now.
If this is your first time listening, let us fill you in. We are watching and reviewing every episode of the USA hit TV show Monk right here each week.
And we're going to do so while eating a little bit of junk. So I've got my junk food here, which...
Wait, hang on. I want to go first because mine's super lame and yours is really cool.
Okay.
I pre-peeled some Cuties oranges and I was like, oh, I'm doing good. And then Noah starts whooping up this master creation. And do you want to tell the folks what it is?
I will. Okay, so we have little non-dip things, which is like basically just bread dipped things. So what you gotta do, put your little non-dippers on the stove, and once, one side is getting a little burnt, you flip them over. And then that's where the magic happens. You put the powdered sugar, the brown sugar, and then you wait. Wait like 2 minutes. When those 2 minutes are up, scoop them off onto a plate, and then add the Nutella on the side. And then boom, bada, bing, boom, bam, pow, you have Noah Schmoopies.
Well, I actually put Noah Nonners.
Noah Nonners? Oh, I like Schmoopies.
I'm sorry.
Because we asked Toby what we should name them, and he was like, just name them Noah Schmoopies.
Well, I put them on Instagram.
You put them on Instagram already?
Yeah.
Wow, that was quick.
Well, I mean, it's not quick for them. They're seeing this you guys saw it like several weeks ago.
Yeah.
So these are the Noah Nonners. And the reason I called them Nonners was because obviously non. But he had this box of non, and I was like, what the heck? Are these bananas? Oh, no, you called them nanners. You're like, these are nanners? And I was like, whoa, these are bananas? And you're like, oh, no, they're non. So I was like, oh, they're nonners. And then he called them schmoopies, and that was just a miscommunication, so.
I had these this morning.
Can I try one?
I already, yeah.
Okay.
Make sure to dip in the Nutella.
Okay. Oh, are they supposed to be crunchy? Or are they supposed to be soft?
It's supposed to be just whatever. There's not a set thing. Is it gross?
No.
No? Mm-mm. I had some of these this morning. Because I was like, ugh, I want something sweet and salty.
It mostly tastes like powdered sugar on the naan, but then it has the crystals of the brown sugar and makes it like sweet and more dense. And then Nutella's beautiful. Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Also, you must know I've seen every episode of Monk. I'm a huge fan, started watching in 2007, and for the most part watched it as it aired.
I've seen season 1 and those we've done on the show, and a few scattered here and there in different seasons.
So, if you're ready to start the show, Toby, take it away. Here's what happened.
This is 606, Mr. Monk and the Buried Treasure. In the opening, we see Dr. Kroger's son, Troy, and his friends skateboarding in an open parking lot. When their skateboard hits a nearby car, they approach the vehicle to find a deceased man in the driver's seat. But along with the dead driver, they also find in the back seat empty money bags from West Bay Trust and a rather mysterious map where X marks the spot. Next, we see the boys conning Mr. Monk into helping them find the buried treasure. Desperate to get Dr. Kroger a gift, he is all in. Meanwhile, the captain and Randy are investigating the dead man in the parking lot who appears to be involved in a recent bank robbery. As Monk and his new crew are looking for the treasure, the boys receive a call on the cell phone of the dead bank robber. It was from Stephen Connolly, an employee of the bank. They then try to get the treasure location out of him, but they are found out quick. However, they don't need his help because Monk has discovered it at a local quarry. The boys claim to just need a photo of the X and secretly plan to come back and retrieve the money later. When Monk and Natalie head back to work on the robbery case, Monk discovers that he'd been duped by the boys when he remembers the phone and wallet belonged to the dead robber. He tries to spare Troy's reputation when he sees that he's already dug up and spent some of his $5,000 findings. He and Troy go back to the quarry to replace the money but quickly realize they are not alone and try to escape. Stephen Connolly is there and manages to bury them under several tons of gravel. While trapped in the car together, Monk tells Troy what happened. The whole thing was an inside job. Stephen Connolly, who worked at the bank, got his troublemaking brother, Jack Connolly, and an ex-con, Tony Gamalabo, to rob the bank. But it all went wrong when the bank security guard shot Jack, severely wounding him. Stephen couldn't risk the police identifying Jack as his brother, so he made a map of the location for Tony to bury the body. Troy's treasure map. The reason Troy found money under the X was Stephen knew about the boys had the map, so he planted it there to satisfy them. It worked until Monk figured it all out. Now they were just buried alive under the rubble. Thankfully, Randy needed to pee again while they were searching for Monk, and Troy's blaring heavy metal music was a smoke signal for the gang to save them in the end.
All right. Good job. That was Mr. Monk and the Buried Treasure.
That was good.
Yeah.
I have a weird obsession with treasure hunts. I like them. They're fun.
See, and I have the opposite. I don't usually like treasure hunt things, yeah. I mean, like the Big Reward was like, I was like, this was I thought this was better. But
really?
I mean, yeah, I definitely thought this episode was better, but I think the hunt itself was better because it was more like clue based, I feel like, whereas the other one was maybe more just get there faster than the other people.
Yeah.
And it was very like high pressure situation, like, oh my gosh, hurry up. Where this one was more chill, like, man, I just need to find it. And they were all like even getting like annoyed with Monk because he's like, no, I'm gonna find it. And they're like, God, just give up. Who cares? Like they're over it. And I don't know, it was just more calm. It was similar to the last one, where it was just more calming until, of course, the end, where they're buried alive. That's where it got intense. Yeah. Where before it was like, oh, okay, this is a nice hunt, and then it was like, then the stakes were high. We didn't even ask. What did you like about this episode?
Oh, yeah. The boys are explaining why they have to find this X, and they're like, oh yeah, we're reading Treasure Island, and did you know it was written by a pirate?
Like, you read Treasure Island. Yeah. I think it was even written by a pirate. Robert Louis Stevenson? Not a pirate.
Definitely not a pirate.
Oh, I love that. Natalie totally knows something is up. She's just like, well, it's just kind of weird that she lets them go along with it, but I guess it's like, she's just along for the ride. Like, Mr. Monk, I'm telling you, they're lying, and like, you do with what you want, but they're totally lying. Yeah. So, yeah, it's funny. Of course, the first scene that we see with Randy and the captain, and they find Tony in the car dead. And Stottlemyre has some real good detective work. He's like, or there was skateboarders here. Yeah. Well, I mean, he saw the skateboard, but which they left. Anyway.
Which is a butthole for me.
But they have their skateboard, and it hit the car, though. He saw that it hit the car, and that it was fresh, and then he's like, there's totally skateboarders. So I thought that was pretty good. But anyhow, Randy walks up, and he's like, hey, Captain, can I have this piece of evidence? And he's like, what? And he's like, yeah, I've been looking for this piece of this like receipt for 4 months, and if you get this, you get like free refills for life. And he's like, Randy, you can't have a piece of evidence. And he's like, come on, Captain, the CSI guys cleared it and everything, it's fine. And he's like, you're a spiritual person, right? And he's like, what? I mean, you believe in God, right? It's just staring at him, and he's like, I just believe that I was meant to find this. Like, he was meant to die here. I was meant to find this receipt. It's like the circle of life. Like, that's the Lion King. He's like, yeah. Instead, I'm the lion, and instead of a baby cub, it's a Diet Coke. And Stottlemyre is like, he has it like kind of not taunting him, but he's holding. He's like, you see this? And he's like, if you have this, that whole circle of life, Lion King, baby cub, Diet Coke nonsense, you never say any of those words again as long as I live. It is so funny. Oh my gosh. Randy with his big gulp. It's so good. It's so good.
Natalie and the little kid who was like 16, 15 or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And he's like hitting on her the entire time, and she's like, I'm old enough to be your mother.
But you're not. I put creepy kid hits on Natalie repeatedly. It's so funny. And they're in the back. Oh my God. I did feel kind of bad for her. Because he starts talking about her. Well, but he talks about Mitch, and he's like, what happened to him? And she's like, oh, his plane crashed or something. And she's like, I don't want to talk about it. And he's like, oh, well, I guess that's the other guy, though. He's being insensitive. The one that actually likes her is like, dude, she said knock it off. She doesn't want to talk about it. So I guess that was okay. But then he's like, who knows? Maybe I could win the lottery or something. She's like, don't you have to be 18 to win the lottery? And he's like, you never know. They're just so dumb. It's so funny. She's just looking at him like, Yeah, and this, oh gosh, there's so many of those. I thought those boys were funny.
They were funny, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think that they were funny. I think that that's one thing where, if you compare it to The Big Reward, it's like, Natalie was really like money hungry in that episode, and was just like like I said, urgent. Like everything's like
Yeah.
Like there were funny like moments, but this was just like Natalie's just along for the ride on this one, and these kids teasing her the whole time is just good fun. And I thought it paired really well with the fact that the last episode had a bunch of teenagers in it and kids and stuff.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
Guys, come on. The money will still be there tomorrow. Famous last words.
Well, that's funny because technically the money wasn't even there.
Yeah.
And the guy puts it there. That's interesting. Yeah. Oh, I have more about the kid hitting on Natalie when they're bored because Mr. Monk can't figure out like what's going on. And the kid is like, "You want to go make out behind that tree?" "No, thank you." "What about that tree?" "No, thanks." What the heck? Make out. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine how mortifying this would be if these were Julie's friends?
I know, right?
She would be dead.
Yeah.
That would be so funny. I wonder if they go to the same school.
I hope.
I mean, I guess there's probably a lot. I don't know because they're such in close proximity. I don't know how things work there, but that would be interesting. Yeah.
It was a good freaking crime. It was very well thought out, very articulate.
Yeah.
And it was some great writing by the team. Mm-hmm. So I actually wrote this episode.
By the team. By the team, I mean myself team. And Toby. And
good job, me. Pat on the back.
So what about it specifically did you like? Like
the crime. Just like how well thought out it was, and the whole not security guard. Like how it all went. How their plan went awry, and it's like you don't really know what's gonna happen, and I don't know, it's fun. It's fun. It's also exciting, and at the end when they're stuck, you're like, oh no, and then yeah.
So you do mean the particular crime that, like not the crime that happened, but how the writers wrote the crime and then how it got foiled, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what was so hard to write this one because it was like they intertwined it so well. Yeah. That the crime itself was just a simple bank robbery, like an inside job. But then, he shot him, but it was his brother, and they had to cover it up. And also, was that crime not a little brutal when we were watching it on the screen? Remember when Stottlemyre is like, "This is what happened," and he's playing that footage. And you see, like, the guy gets pistol whipped. And you're like, oh, my gosh. And then it's like, bah, bah. And they're like, everyone's dying and falling all over the place. I was like, that was like, usually it's like how Randy was on the last episode where it's like, those people are blurry. You can't tell what that is. Yeah. This one was, like, crystal clear. And they're like, pop, pop, pop. Killing everybody. Yeah.
It was a little excessive. I'm not going to lie. Randy's pee saved Monk. Which is why earlier I said, let Randy pee. And Randy's pee saved Monk. It was awesome how that whole scene went. When you're like, oh my gosh, please, 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 please. And he's like, do you guys hear that? He like gets on the floor.
And Stottlemyre doesn't even want to he's like, what? Who cares?
Oh my gosh, that was so good. That was really good.
Yeah. I like the suspense of that. Yeah. Where you're like you said.
Monk is like, oh my gosh. Just like, doo, 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 doo.
And Troy doesn't even care. Oh my gosh, that's crazy to me.
It's so good.
That's on my balls. But anyway, I put Randy's gotta pee bad. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did put that he saved Monk, but also the whole scene where they're talking to Stephen Conley at the bank. And Randy doesn't have to preface that he has to pee. I think it actually would have been funnier if he didn't and like kind of let you figure out, oh gosh, he has to pee. Yeah. He's like, I think I'm going to have to pee in a minute. And then they walk up to the guy and Stottlemyre asks him like one question and Randy's like, all right, I think that's it. And he's like, hang on. Is there anything else that you remember? And Randy's like, you can't think of anything else. He's like, I don't think so. And Randy's like, I have a question. Where's the nearest bathroom? And he's like, oh, it's right there, but we haven't been able to use it because it's broken. And he's like, oh, is there like a nearby restroom that you use? He's like, oh yeah, the deli across the street. He's like, all right, well, thanks. I think that's going to be it. It's so fun. Just the squirm. The squirm is the best. Yeah. I love that.
I'm completely done. I'm on to dislikes.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Monk can't not tell Dr. Kroger about the gift.
Oh, yeah.
It is so freaking hilarious. so how are things going? And, oh, no, he starts off his session by being all, like, happy. And he's like, yeah, I think I just, solved the biggest case of my career. And he's like, oh, really? That's awesome. And he's like, yeah, it's, the most important case I've ever done. And he's like, oh, well, I'm intrigued. And Monk is like, I bet you are. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. And then he's like, so how's Troy doing? And Kroger's like, yeah, he's actually doing really well. He actually just came in downstairs today and was whistling just for no reason. And he's like, oh, that's great. He's like, and I bet his schoolwork is improving too. And he's like, well, we don't know about that yet, but yeah, I hope so. And he's like, Monk is like, yeah, I know it will. And he's like, well, I hope you're right. And Monk's like, I know I'm right. Kroger's just like looking at him like, what the heck? And he's like, well, yeah, I bet it will. And he's like, yes, it will. Kroger's like, what the heck? And then I wish I had a timestamp on this one, but that face that Monk makes where he's just sitting back and he's like smiling and has like little fingers together. It's so good.
That's so funny.
Noah's going to timestamp it.
I'm going to look for it while you talk, Kandyce.
Also, I thought it was just a great full circle moment when at the very end, right? Troy wants to study psychology now, like his dad. That's awesome. And I feel like Dr. K, he does so much, like for everyone, especially for Monk, that he really like deserved that, It's like sometimes it's hard to be, like a psychologist and then use your psychology on people. Because even like Troy said, all he does is just regurgitate the psychobabble crap at me. Like, I'm not one of his patients. He tries. So Dr. Kroger, he tries to practice what he preaches, but it just doesn't always work on your family members when they think that you're manipulating them into doing, So I felt like that was really cool that Troy actually got to see like what his dad did, and that was really nice.
It was like comforting Monk, and I was like, oh, he learned from it. And then Monk at the end is like, he's like, what did you say to him to make him want to become a therapist or whatever? And he's like, I just did my little monk magic or whatever.
We just had a heart-to-heart.
Yeah.
He left out the part where he was having a mental breakdown. That was funny. Did you get that timestamp for us yet?
I got this. Yeah. Yes, it will.
Play the yes.
Okay.
Yes, it will.
So that's at 21:45. You can start from 21:45 and it'll be there within like 15 seconds. You can just watch that entire scene. It's hilarious.
It's super cute. And then my last thing is just, it was a really fun treasure hunt, which we said before. But yeah, I couldn't really remember if it was real or not. Like, if they actually found money there. I forgot that part. But either way, I felt like, again, I really wanted them to find it. And I wanted Monk to succeed in finding his, gift for Dr. Kroger. I felt like, again, because Dr. Kroger deserved it, but a win for Monk that he was able to do that for Dr. Kroger. So, it was like a twofer. I liked it. It was nice.
It was nice, yeah.
All right. What did we dislike about this episode?
Okay. Natalie says, if you're a teenage guy, you're a liar. And guess what, Natalie? I'm a teenage guy. Barely. But I'm not a liar.
Maybe you'll get there.
One day.
You're recently teenage,
I'm a recent teenage man, boy, child, guy.
Yep, I noticed that. I was like, ooh, Noah might have a few things to say about that one, and that is the absolute first thing you brought up.
Guess what? I have a podcast where all I do is not lie. All I do is truth.
Well,
so take that.
Let's not check the tapes on that one, but
maybe most of the time I truth.
Yeah. Just about the times where you said that you wrote the show, or that
maybe
you did all of the work, and
those are the true times.
Oh,
obviously.
Okay. And then including this one that you just said.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What
I did not like is that, yes, it was fun. It was a nice adventure, but in general, those kids were kind of being punks because they were totally lying and using Mr. Monk for his talents.
Yeah,
and they were taking advantage of him, and they were...
Well, I mean, Monk thought he was doing the right thing. I mean, they kind of helped him in a way.
Well, I mean, yeah, but also they were manipulating him into doing something really, really illegal. Like, really illegal.
Oh, yeah.
This wasn't just
the fact that it was illegal, I guess.
and that he works for the police and that they took advantage of his good detective skills, probably his, love for Dr. Kroger.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of punkish of them to be doing that.
It was pretty punkish of them. But I mean, Monk felt accomplished in the end. He was like, I just solved the best case of my life. And all that. Let Randy pee, for God's sake.
Out of all of the let Randy do blank,
Let Randy pee, man.
you can't control this one, Stottlemyre.
Exactly.
It's coming out one way or the other, okay? I agree. Back to the, taking advantage of. I don't know how I felt about how Monk was trying to cover for Troy after he knew that Troy had broken all these laws and was doing this. It was
he was like, I won't tell anyone.
Yeah.
We'll keep your name out of it.
If we go back and bury the money and stuff, I was like, oh, that's a little...
Yeah. No, I forgot about that. Yeah, I was like, excuse me, Monk?
Yeah, because Monk is a really, really honest guy.
Yeah.
And he totally...
Stuck his neck out for
Troy. Yeah. I thought that... I didn't
Totally,
like that.
yeah. Monk died. I wrote that at the very beginning of the car scene where they get right before it goes to commercial and they're like getting buried. I just wrote Monk died.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to predict it.
Yeah. What were we eating?
What were we eating?
Pho.
Yeah.
Pho.
It was yums.
Yeah.
Yummy.
But yeah, that was a long scene too where they're getting buried and buried and buried and then they're like screaming and then the tractor dumps all the gravel and then the tractor's like it shuts off. It was so dramatic. I actually liked that. But yeah, Monk dies. Yeah.
Yeah, Monk definitely died.
Yeah. You totally said that too. You're like, oh, Monk dies. That was it. It's like, true. Okay, also, can we talk about this? I don't think you've seen this episode, unfortunately, but Mr. Monk and the Employee of the Month.
No, I haven't.
Okay, there is a scene where Monk is working at the supermarket, right? Mm-hmm. And he sees Dr. Kroger at the supermarket, but he doesn't say hi like he's about to. Mm-hmm. But he sees Dr. Kroger eating a granola bar, and then he sticks it in his pocket. And so Monk is like, oh my gosh, I just saw him steal something. And he's like totally torn up inside about it. So at their next session, he's just sitting there just like staring at Dr. Kroger like, I know what you did. And then finally he comes out and says it. And Dr. Kroger's like really offended. Like, Adrian, I can't believe that you would think that I would steal something. I always carry around granola bars in my pocket. And he's like, in fact, I have one like in my pocket now. And Monk is like, well, can I see it? And he's like, no, Adrian, actually, you know what? I need you to trust me. And he's like, I see a lot of police officers, and they're very untrusting people, and I need you to get over this. And Monk is like, okay. And so he makes him wait a little bit, and then he ends up pulling the granola bar out and eating it. And so Monk is like, oh, thank God. And but it was his. Yeah. It was his personal one that he brought, right? So it was a good thing. Mm-hmm. Now in this episode,
Monk's just like, we'll bury the $5,000 and no one will ever know about this.
No. Remember when Troy makes a comment about his dad committing insurance fraud about the coins? Remember that?
Yeah.
He was like, oh yeah, I remember. Oh, because he's explaining, why do you think you only found $5,000? And he's like, well, we just figured that the bank lied to the insurance company that they had stole $2 million when they only really stole like $5,000. He's like, my dad did that whenever someone burglarized us. He told the insurance company we had a rare coin collection. Oh. And Monk's like, oh, okay. And then just lets it go. But I will say that you're right, then the fact that
he's just like, let's bury the money and no one will ever figure out about this.
Exactly. So it's kind of a two-for like, oh, Dr. Kroger, I could judge him except for I'm doing something really illegal, so I won't.
Yeah.
So I didn't put that under plot holes because,
Yeah. They missed a joke that I think would have been pretty funny. Monk could have been wearing his seatbelt the entire time they were buried. I feel like that'd been hilarious. If he just didn't take off his seatbelt. Because I feel like that's a Monk thing to do.
Yeah, because he didn't put it on, right? Because they were out of the car, and then he hops back in the car, and he doesn't put his seatbelt on. He's just, like, screaming, make it go, make it go, make it go. And he's like, I am. Yeah. Yeah, that would have been funny. Okay, did we not feel super grungy, grimy, just like watching them squish in the back of that car? Yeah. That was so uncomfortable.
Oh, I hated that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just like squeezed, and then the music is blaring. Yeah. Natalie's just like sitting there squished in between these two boys. Ugh. And they probably smelt, and they were like infatuated with her, and it's like so uncomfortable. But I will say that Natalie, that was a really funny scene where they're trying to decide who's going in what car, and Troy's like, "No, Mr. Monk has to go with us. Has to go with me because he's the navigator." And Natalie's like, "Oh, well, I have to be with Mr. Monk, so, okay, I'll go with you guys, and then you two take my car." Mm-hmm. And they're like, "All right." And she's like, "Wait, no. Wait. And then it cuts, and she's like in the backseat, squish, and like, oh my gosh, it's so funny. So poor Natalie, that's the decision she had to make.
I'm done.
You are? Okay.
I barely took too many notes, I will say. I'm not going to lie. I wanted to watch. Sorry, my bad.
Actually, I only have one more thing. So you're not too far off. Tortured Monk is always just really sad.
Oh, yeah.
It was super squirmy. Again, not necessarily like the car, it being gross, but him being buried under that rubble and just so like tortured, like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. And yeah, it's really sad. Anytime that monk has to go through something that is like a normal person would be freaking out, and how Monk has to handle it, those are like the worst. Like the dentist when he's like strapped in the chair. Yeah, a normal person would be freaking out, let alone Monk doing this. So.
Yeah. It was terrifying. I did not feel safe for Monk or anyone.
Yeah. No. All right, I'm done.
Okay. He's the guy. Per usual, nobody for he's the guy because I'm 12. 13. I'm 13.
We literally just talked about this. Because I'm 12. Wait a second. I am a teenage man boy child. Okay. Let's start off with Sean Marquette. He played the kid that hits on Natalie. Mm-hmm. And he's in the Goldbergs.
Yeah.
The Fosters. Home for Imaginary Friends. He had like a bunch of credits on that one. I don't know what that is, but...
Home for Imaginary Friends? That's a movie?
Oh, is it a movie?
Or the cartoon?
It was a cartoon.
Yeah, the cartoon.
Oh, okay, yeah. I have no clue what that is. But he's on that. And I recognized him from the beloved Jennifer Garner movie called 13 Going on 30.
Oh, yeah.
Where, have you seen it?
I'm 13 and I'm going on 30. Yeah, I've seen it. Where she's like the kid and then she's like, oh, I wish I was older. And then she's an older girl.
Yeah, and the opposite of her in that movie is Mark Ruffalo, who is, the Hulk, right?
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo. So this kid plays the young Mark Ruffalo, where they're... Yeah. Before they turn magic and turn into 30-year-olds. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's him. So.
Aw.
Yeah. Next is, I am officially done with the middle. So, that's sad.
Wait, what?
Super sad.
Aw.
Yeah, finished the middle. So, I found 2 more He's the Guys, though, as I was watching it through. The first one is Rose Abdoo, who we talked about before, who plays Monk's mom, right? Mm-hmm. Remember, she's in the Gilmore Girls. But she was Brick's life skills teacher. And I think it's like the last season where, do you remember when Axel gets the baby doll? To like soothe it, he like swings it around by its leg and he's like, this is what he likes. It's super funny.
What?
He ends up like losing his head and Frankie has to like rock the head to sleep while the dad rocks the body to sleep. And it's super funny. So Brick, 4 years later... gets the same baby in life skills class because he's a heck. And so Rose Abdoo is his teacher and she gives him the doll. And it's super funny. So that's her. And then the other one is Sonia Eddy, who plays Opal, the nurse in the nursing home in Mr. Monk and the Very, Very Old Man. And in season 3, she plays Axel's Spanish teacher. And that's actually a super funny scene because this is when Axel he's trying to get out of a Spanish test So he pretends that he's too sick to go to school, but then he's not too sick to go to his friend's party. So he does like this not sick, not sick, because then he has to go back to school. So he's trying to get out of the Spanish test, right? And then the next day, the Spanish test is there again. Like, it's still there, and he still hasn't studied for it. So his friend, Sean Donahue, he's like, dude, you can't do the sick, not sick, sick, not sick, not sick. Mm-hmm. And Axel's like, but I can do the sick, not sick Jewish holiday. And so he goes to school, and you see Opal there, and that's his Spanish teacher. And he's like, yeah, I just, I have a Jewish holiday, and also my grandma died. You can look it up in the paper. And he like gives her the paper, and it's just some random old lady. And he's like, yeah, she drove off a bridge. It's like super sad and funny. And she's like, oh my gosh, Axel, I am so sorry. And he's like, yeah, we'll be okay though, or something. She died living her best life or something funny. It was something funny like that. So anyways, I love The Middle, obviously. I could talk about The Middle all day as a monk. So if you like, comedy shows like that, check out The Middle. Like,
it's a funny show.
The Middle's very good. So.
I stopped watching it, so I have to rewatch it.
Yeah, no, it's really good. And it's funny to the end too. It doesn't. It never like drops off in funniness. It's still good, and they're really good at reoccurring their storylines. Like the baby, it comes back like 4 years later, so it's really good. Our last He's the Guy is actually a viewer's voice.
No way.
Yeah. Do you want to do this one?
I will do this one.
Okay.
So this viewer's voice is from Young Beauty Lover, and they actually told us that Dr. Kroger was on Star Trek.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Me neither.
Which I don't watch Star Trek, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I will say that Young Beauty Lover, they claim to be our number one fan. So that is cool. Yeah, they're on YouTube. And they're always the first to comment on all of our videos. And they watch them right when they come out. And so it's super cool. So, yeah. That's Young Beauty Lover.
Lindsay's
Shout out.
Got some competition.
Oh, no, she does. That's funny. But yeah, so Dr. K was on Star Trek. And he was also on an episode of Columbo.
No way!
Yes. And now I will admit, I have not seen this episode yet. Apparently, there's more episodes than they show you on IMDb. And because I was waiting for this episode to show up because all these people have always say, there's a picture of Dr. K in Star Trek. That's funny.
Stanley Cannell, Star Trek.
Will you look up Stanley Cannell on Columbo?
Okay, yeah.
Because I've seen this I'm like in a Columbo group and multiple monk groups, right? So I've seen them say like, oh, look, Dr. K on Columbo. And I watched the entire series already of Columbo, and he was not on there. And so I was like, what the heck? So I looked up the episode, and sure enough, it wasn't on there. Like, it wasn't on the library. So I was like, dang. So I wasn't able to watch him in it. But
Agenda for Murder.
Yeah. It's not on there. Is there a picture?
No. There isn't. Ew. Looks creepy.
Maybe he's a bad guy. I have no clue.
Look it.
Oh.
That's him, right?
Yeah.
It looks like him.
Oh, this was in 1990.
Yeah, he's a young boy.
Oh, okay. Because Columbo's pretty old, but they made episodes that are like way later, like in the 90s. So that makes sense that he looks pretty similar. He doesn't look... A lot of people look super young because they're famous now, and they were just starting their careers back in the 70s.
Yeah.
So you can like hardly recognize them. But he looks pretty the same right there, so...
It was super dark, but still.
Yeah, so... Obviously, we've seen Stanley Cannell before, but thank you to Young Beauty Lover once again for bringing that to our attention, that he was in Star Trek. Mm-hmm. And if you want to be featured on our Viewer's Voice, leave us a message wherever YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, wherever, and let us know.
Yeah, thank you.
Junk time!
Welcome back to Junk Time, my favorite time and yours on the show, where we eat jank, and Kandyce asked me questions. Kandyce is finishing up her Noah Schmoopy, her Noah's Nanners. Yummy? You know it. They're really yummy.
All right. If you could have free refills of the same drink forever, what would it be?
Does it have to be like an official drink, like a Sprite? Or can it be like, my own?
Like something that you couldn't actually like find somewhere?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
Okay, because I mix Sprite and Fanta together. Would that...
Oh, I see what you did there.
See,
Okay,
it's not two different drinks because then it's just fused as one.
So is that your favorite drink? Was that? I mean,
No, it's not my favorite, but I know if I have like my favorite's a little too strong, and I can't have that for like every meal. Or I would probably get water, and I can solve world hunger, world thirst.
well, I'm not sure that really makes sense. Because
Just like at one place.
Well, because technically you already have unlimited water
Yeah.
where you are, and you haven't solved world hunger. So
That's
basically
not unlimited, though. You have to pay like water bills.
Do you pay those frequently?
Yeah. I paid them like 2 days ago. It's fine.
Because you're 12.
Because I'm
I'm
a
a
13-year-old man boy.
Child.
Old guy.
Okay, so I guess if you had to pick from a restaurant or something, I don't know. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but the thing about this Sprite Fanta, it goes with everything. Like every meal you have, mwah, delicious. But I only have Sprite Fanta during Halloween. Because I like Sprite, and I get Sprite like every time. But I only have Sprite Fanta because it's orange, and it's Sprite. It's Fanta Sprite. It's Sprite.
Right. We used to do suicides.
What are those?
Where you
Get
every
everything.
single drink. It tastes really gross, though.
Yeah.
You just do that to be cool. Because it does not taste good. It's like basically like drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it's so cool. That was disgusting. Yeah. And I guess I was going for more of like a specific restaurant. But I mean, I guess if most places have Sprite, they'd have Fanta. So yeah, you'd probably be safe with Sprite going somewhere, and you could get free refills anywhere. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's kind of hard because like Randy has to go to the same gas station. Like, oh, I got free refills from this place.
Yeah.
But like, because I love lemonade, but like Chick-fil-A has different lemonade than other places. So my favorite lemonade's Minute Maid though. And then root beer is the same thing. Some people have nasty root beer because like Mug is not good.
That's the same thing with Sprite. Like it will just taste literally like the nastiest water you've ever tasted. It's so gross if it doesn't have the right amount of like. Oh well, yeah.
If they overcarbonate it,
they overcarbonate.
Oh gosh, yeah. No, I'm like, I need a new drink because that just means they messed up on the syrup. Like they need to put more syrup. But yeah, lemonade and root beer are my two favorite drinks. I'm definitely not mixing those together. So it's kind of a tough one. I go through like spurts where I like only drink root beer. Not only, but like I drink root beer. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I love root beer. I could not live without root beer.
And then you drink.
And then I do the same thing with lemonade. I cannot live without lemonade. Lemonade for everything. And then I'm like, I need to try root beer again. And I'm like, oh god.
Root beer's so good.
Yeah, they're both really good.
But Sprite can't be topped.
I bet that's good.
It's really good.
It sounds good.
Like Sprite, but with extra flavor.
Well, and Sprite is how you make like all those drinks like Halloween punch and stuff, where you put like sherbet ice cream and pineapple juice. You just load that baby up with a 2 liter of Sprite. Oh my gosh, it is so good.
I've never tasted that.
Oh my gosh, I have to make that for you. That's amazing.
What is
We need to watch Elf while we drink Halloween punch.
I haven't seen Elf yet.
What a psycho. Anyway, okay. During junk time, we're going to do a little math time. Okay,
Oh, jeez, no.
I did this. No, I'm not going to ask you anything.
It's Saturday, Kandyce. Ugh.
No, I'm not going to ask anything. I'm just going to... I was thinking about it. So, Randy is like, come on, Captain, I need this receipt. I drink like 4 of these a day. That would, if I live to be 100, that's like $1 million. So, okay, so I did the math because I was like, $1 million, that sounds like a lot of money.
Oh no, is it going to be like $1 million?
Okay, so if Randy was 37 at the time he said that means that he'd have 63 years left to live. He would have 4 cups per day. And so 63 years times 4 cups is 91,080 cups. If each cup cost $5 a piece, it would be $549,800. So.
And what if he's been drinking them as a kid?
So $500,000. So he was. It sounded like an exaggeration, but like $500,000 and $1 million is like not that big of a difference when you're talking about like, in generalities. It's not like he said $1 billion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like $1 billion. He's like, that's like $1 million. Like that's a pretty good quick math. However, if those drinks cost $5. Anyway, I just thought I would share that.
At most, I feel like they'd be like $3.
That's what I'm thinking.
Right,
but
for that big cup.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready for our final moments of junk time? Our next thing of junk time?
Yeah.
Remember a couple weeks ago we did our Sharona versus Natalie episode.
Uh-huh.
So we played some people's voicemails, right, when they called in. And we actually got some new listeners out of that because not all those people actually listen to our show. So now they're listening. Hopefully they're still there. But I actually had 2 separate voicemails that people resent in after they started listening to our show. So do you want to hear one of those now?
Yeah, let's play it.
Hi, my name is Sam Workman. This message is for Noah. I have been going through past episodes because I didn't know about you guys right from the beginning, and so I'm trying to catch up. And I just want to say that, Noah, you're hilarious. I just listening to the one about Mr. Monk gets a new shrink or whatever that's called. I laughed so hard when you said that you thought that the shrink was deflating lazy. But yeah, so you guys are awesome, and I look forward every week to your new episodes. And I'll just keep listening. Thanks. Have a great day.
That was amazing.
That was good, right?
Thank you.
So that was from Sam Workman, if you didn't catch that. But yeah, I thought that was so sweet.
My gosh.
That's so cool.
Did you hear that, guys? Even if you didn't think I was funny, everyone thinks I'm funny.
At least one of you does. Good job, me. Okay, and then I also got a voicemail.
What?
Yeah, so this is from Raida. She's from Pakistan.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was a little sick, so I couldn't get back to you earlier. I was so thrilled to hear your podcast. I find your voice so soothing and enchanting. So I follow you on your Instagram as well, and I just enjoy your stories and polls. And, I just really love it. It's such wholesome content. So kudos on that. And, best of luck in that. And let me know if I can be of any help any other time. And yeah, thank you so much once again.
Aww.
Wasn't that so nice? And she thought my voice was so soothing and enchanting. I was like, me?
She gave me kudos.
She gave me kudos and everything for such wholesome content. I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
So sweet, guys.
Our diehard fans. Already getting to our heads.
Oh, all right.
Candace is going to start talking like this now to show off her soothing.
So soothing.
Talk like Siri.
No, but no one's ever said that to me, so thank you so much.
You're trying to sound as soothing as possible.
I know. Now I'm self-conscious about it. Trying not to sound like I'm cackling. But yeah, and poor Rita, she's been sick. So
I know.
Hopefully by the time you're listening to this, you're feeling much, much better.
Yeah.
It's, in the future. But thank you so much for the sweet compliments. And we are so glad that all of you guys listen to us and you enjoy our wholesome content. We try to keep it family friendly and fun for you guys. So thank you so much for calling in. And of course, you could always leave us a voicemail because we love it. Our heads don't get, that big.
I mean, no way.
My headphones are kind of falling off the sides, but other than that, thanks guys.
If you just want to get into the podcast, you're like, oh, I'll be on TV, just give us a compliment.
That's true. Just give us a compliment.
Guys, look, this really nice person said something about us. I just wanted to get in.
Right. Okay, junk time's over.
Junk time's over. Thank you guys. We love you. Plot holes. Okay, Candace, you can start it off because I only have one.
Oh, jeez.
I know,
rice.
right?
Cheese and rice.
There wasn't that many plot holes.
Okay. Are Jared and Troy the same kid? Fan theory. They both skip school to listen to trash rock music.
Uh-huh.
What the heck? That was the same storyline. Right?
That's the exact
they're the same
thing,
kid.
Yeah.
I almost called him Jared 50 times. So that was my first one.
Uh-huh.
Okay, also, those kids are dumb.
Yeah.
Those kids are dum-dums.
I'd like to see one of them here making a podcast at 12 years old.
13.
I'm 13 now, but I engineered and genetically created, this podcast.
Okay, but seriously, they leave their skateboard at the scene.
That was my plot.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll skip that.
Skaters don't leave their skateboards because why would they? No one does that.
Who would I? Oh, that's not even what I was saying.
I know.
But yeah, that's...
Who leaves their skateboard? I'm not a skater, but, like, they're expensive. They're like $60.
They thought they were gonna, like, get the treasure map, so they were like, we'll buy a new skateboard. Just take your skateboard with you. What are you doing? I was saying it more for evidence. They hit the guy's car, left their skateboard there, and then they stole the treasure map out of his car. Yeah. That's how Stottlemyre figured them out, because they left their ramp and their skateboard there. But yours was a good point, too. But they take the map. They don't report the dead guy. Uh-huh. They take his cell phone. They answer his cell phone. Yeah. They use the guy's ID out of his wallet.
I'm 43.
Then they pull the phone out in front of Monk to take a picture. And then they go back and steal the money. Mm-hmm. These kids, that's why I'm saying, like, that was in my, like, dislikes.
They're that much of an idiot.
Like, they're manipulating Monk, but also, like, they're doing very illegal stuff this whole time. It wasn't like, oh, we just happened to find this treasure map, and now we're looking for it, and we don't want to share it, so we're not going to tell anyone. Mm-hmm. They found this on a dead man that they knew probably robbed a bank because they found the bank money bags in the back. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
There's no way. People like that don't exist.
Oh gosh, they totally do.
Or at least they don't listen to
This is a bad plot hole. They totally exist. That's terrible. Okay, they're under the rubble from night till the next day, midday. How many times have you left the light on in your car and the battery is deado, 0%? Your car does not turn on the next day.
Yeah.
There's no way they would still be in the light. Their car would totally die if they left their cargo light on all night long.
No, I was thinking that, yeah. That actually makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense.
Tell us about we didn't get into it because we were watching it, but you were like, can't they just get out? Why wouldn't they? And you were explaining
yeah. Break the front window and the back window, and then roll down all the windows, because apparently they have car batteries still. Roll down all the windows, break the front and back window, and the car will just cave in, and then all the gravel's gone from on top of you. It's all inside of the car. And then literally would just be like a pile up. Then again, they really don't know how much gravel's on top of them.
Yeah, that's true.
But it wasn't that much. It was literally a flat thing where Randy was like, they're under here.
Okay, wait. So that's actually part of my plot hole, is because I think that was a continuity error, because
it was a giant pile,
yes.
And then it's...
Yeah. Right? Okay, you noticed that. Uh-huh. So like you said, they don't know how much gravel was on top of them. There actually was a lot more than when Randy found them underneath there. Because, I mean, they dug, maybe 6 inches? Mm-hmm. They didn't even dig a foot when they were like, oh my gosh, they're under there. And then they found the top of the car and were banging on it. I was like, that doesn't make sense. And I was like, maybe Noah's idea would work. But we didn't discuss it, so I didn't know exactly what it was. But yeah, I would think... Now, I'll say that I probably would be scared that the gravel would come in and just suffocate you. Yeah. Like, if we unleash this, it's just going to bury us and then we're going to die instantly. But if it's loose gravel, can you not dig through it? Loose gravel? Or would you be like, trapped? You know what I mean?
I feel like...
Would it be so heavy on top of you that you couldn't, like, move your arms through? It's not like a ball pit. It's gravel.
But at the same time, it'll just... There's like a lot of room in a car.
Like, shimmy out of the way. Yeah.
If all you have to do is just, like... I guess I can do this because I'm a little tiny baby boy. But, like... Man-child, of course. But, like, just stay on top of the seats and then let everything in.
Yeah, or like you said, like, try to break the back window or something, and where you have, like, a divider where the rock's not going to go over your seat. So even if your plan doesn't work, you'd still be safe in the front or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also... And this is not necessarily a plot hole, but you don't plug your ears when the music is that loud. Like how Monk is like...
He's like, oh...
Like being tortured by it, but then doesn't plug his ears.
Just plug your ears.
Mm-hmm. Okay, my last one is... Randy says he was drinking Diet Coke before. Like, I know he has free refills, so this is not the strongest of plot holes. But he says instead of a baby cub, it's a Diet Coke. And then later, when Stottlemyre pops a hole in his cup, it's obviously clear liquid that's falling out of the cup. So they just did that so that he wouldn't be spilling soda all over the set, and it was water, or he refilled with Sprite and betrayed his Diet Coke.
I can't imagine if they actually put Sprite in there, but
Exactly. So it's you know what I mean?
it
so
has
it's
to
like
be water.
So it
but
is
at the
water.
Same time, what would it be in the show?
Exactly. Because you know it's water, so it's like it's either a mistake because it was supposed to be Diet Coke, or he switched it.
Dang.
Got him. All right. I'm done with plot holes.
What? Okay, so am I. How crazy was Monk this episode? No crazy moments from Noah because I didn't write any down.
All right. Here, let's share a list then.
What? Okay.
Oh, wait. Out of 10 what?
Out of 10, Treasure Islands, in parentheses, written by pirates. Written by parrots.
That works too, actually. Pirates have parrots. Okay, I did out of 10 tons of gravel.
Let's play 20 questions, Mr. Monk. Okay.
It could be an animal, a vegetable, or a mineral. It can be anything. It's a mineral. Is it gravel? It's gravel. It's gravel. It's gravel. It's gravel.
Okay. Let's do these. Yeah. Mr. Monk wants Troy to unlock the door.
Mr. Monk, I can't unlock the door. Just unlock it. just unlock it, Troy. I'm not joking. Unlock the door. Oh. He puts the plastic all over his couch when the boys come over.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, what is this? And Mr. Monk is like, well, you see, the couch is, what's the word? Mine?
He freaks out when the lights go out, which, I mean, I would kind of too.
For sure.
But at some point you have to get, like, sleep. I'd be like, oh, let's turn it off. Dink. And have to be my choice.
Then it going out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But if it went out, I'd be like,
yeah.
Oh, my God.
Exactly. Heck no.
Yeah.
He wants to tell Harold about the gift that he got Dr. Kroger.
Monk remembers the weather from every single day when he's like being what's his name's patient.
That's so sweet.
I wanted to say Jared, but what's his name?
Troy.
Troy's patient. Whenever he was like being Troy's patient, he was like, well, it was like kind of cloudy. Next day,
He said it was gonna be. They said it was gonna rain, but it never rained. It's like, oh, that's great. It was funny. Okay, question: did you think that he was talking about like some memory for Trudy or something when he started talking? And then Troy's like, "What about the next day?" And he's like, "It's partly cloudy."
yeah, I was like,
Because when we were watching it, you went, "Aw," like he was remembering something sweet, and then I was like, I'm pretty sure he's talking about the weather. That was hilarious. That's so funny. He can't contain himself with Dr. Kroger. He goes through the whole spiel of telling him, yeah, I bet you are.
Uh-huh. So they're all high-fiving each other or whatever because they found the X, and one of them tries to give a high five to Monk, and Monk's like, no, thank you. And so they do a little fist bump.
Yeah, that was really sweet. And then the last one is blinker. Blinker. Troy, use your blinker. And Troy's like, yeah, I don't do that. I don't want people to know what I'm thinking. So it's actually kind of a crazy Troy moment.
Yeah.
But Monk was yelling blinker at him, so it was funny.
Which, I mean, just use your blinker, man.
Of course, it's gravel. It's gravel. So out of 10 tons of gravel, I gave him a 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Out of 10 Treasure Islands written by pirates, I give them a 3.
Really?
Yeah. Guys, look at us.
Oh, no, wait. No, thank you.
Fist bump.
Perfect.
Yay.
All right. That was it. He wasn't super crazy. I mean, we had some, but the craziest thing, obviously, is everything he does when he's underneath the gravel, and it's like, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
So, you still have to...
He's pretty calm and collected, you know.
For the rest of the time. Yeah. Not bad.
Rate this episode. Okay, Kandyce, what would you rate this episode?
All right. This was a solid episode. Not too bad. if I can compare it to the rock concert with Jared, right? Similar story, father-son, storyline. This one was much more adventurous, and I feel like it carried, more relationships forward than just, like Stottlemyre and Jared. It was Monk and Kroger, Monk and Troy, Troy and Kroger. So I thought it was, more character-based. I liked it. I personally, before this, I always just saw this as like a super filler episode. Yeah. And like, this one's not going to be that great. And I'm kind of rethinking it because it honestly kind of changed my mind as dissecting these episodes does frequently. Like I said, a lot of character and adventure in this episode that I didn't appreciate before. Yeah. So I do think it was a solid episode. So I'm going to give it a 10.8.
That's good. I respect it. Okay, so this was a great episode. We learned a lot about, Dr. Kroger's, his son, and the whole coin thing. I thought that was really funny. It was a nice little writing thing with lots of twists and turns, and the end where he was like being Monk's therapist was a little nice bow.
That was great.
And it was a great like character moment. Genius writing right there. Like, because it's like Dr. Kroger and it's like his son and he'll be like, giving him therapy. It's very sweet. Yeah. It was a nice little bow. Yep. And for that, I'm going to give it a, drumroll please, 6 out of 10.
Oh, okay. I was expecting a lower score than the Birds and the Bees.
Yeah. No, because the Birds and the Bees, I was like, 8 out of 10. I mean, like, I guess it makes sense. It's not a 9, but it's not, I don't feel like it's an 8. But it's not an 8.5, so I'll just give it an 8. And this one, I was like, it's good, but it's not Birds and the Bees good, and it's not, I don't think it's up to that level. So I just give it a 6. I might change it to a 7, but I feel like a 6 is fair.
And let's be honest. I feel like a lot of people probably feel like I did before about this episode, where it's just a filler. It's kind of boring. I did get some of those comments that didn't make the viewer's voice this week, that it just wasn't their favorite. But without explanation, I'll add. Some people were just like, this just is not at the top of my list, so they didn't really want to say anything about it, which is, fair. But I'm just assuming that it's similar to what I was saying. It seems like a filler, kind of boring, not whatever. But when you dissect these things the way that we do, you do learn to appreciate different aspects of the writing and the complexity of things and the character building. And so it helps. It changes your mind about some stuff. So,
if you want to be part of next, the viewer's voice, just do episode 10, and because that's like a few from now, and we'll be all ready for episode 10. So if you want to chime in your input on episode 10 or just want to be in an episode, then give us your viewer's voice.
Try episode 11.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I said episode 9 last time.
I know. I don't know. Because we do them in 2s, right? It's just hard to say. We do them in 2s. So if we're doing them in 2s, we're going to record them on the same day anyway. So you might as well go past that.
10 or 11, whatever you want, whatever you feel like that day.
But also send reminders out for, like, hey guys, we're recording tomorrow, to remind you if you want to send something in. This is just so if you want to get ahead of where we're going, right? So, Yay, we're done. Yay. Not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all.
We're trucking along. Can you believe that we're almost in the middle of season 6? We just started season 6.
I feel like that, yeah.
It feels like we just started. Like Marcy, that was
yesterday.
Also, oh my gosh, a little tiny update. I don't usually like to flex these things, but it was a little exciting. I posted our content for Mr. Monk and His Biggest Fan this past week, and on Fan Friday or Wacky Wednesday or one of those. Oh yeah, it was Wacky Wednesday, because I posted a video of Marcy playing the guitar and singing her song. And Sarah Silverman totally liked it and commented on it.
What?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding. I got a notification. It was like, Sarah Kate Silverman liked your photo. I was like, what the heck is this? And she commented, aw.
What?
I was like, okay. That was cool.
When we were talking about her, we were like, she is so famous. She'll never notice us. That's awesome. That is so cool.
Isn't that cool?
We're basically, if we know enough famous people, we're basically famous.
Wow.
We're basically famous.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
We're our own. He's the guy. We're like very famous. We're like okay. We're pretty famous. All right. I've seen it. I've seen him on a thing. He was in a thing.
Oh my God.
Don't look up our IMDb's, please.
Okay. Well, that's it.
That is it.
Be in our viewers' voice. We love you guys. And what do you want to say to the entire world? If everyone in the world was listening to this podcast, Kandyce, what would you want to say to them?
It's gravel.
Okay, bye everyone. We love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Junk Monk Podcast. We'd love to hear from you, so please give us a 5-star review wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, follow us at Junk Monk Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
If you want to know more about Kandyce, she is at Hardens and Hardhats on Instagram. And if you want to know more about me, Noah L., subscribe to my vlog, Noah Hernandez, on YouTube. Also, you can leave us a voicemail at 323-366-0477 with your questions, comments, or just to show us some love.
Don't forget to catch up on Monk with Amazon Prime Video, and of course, subscribe to our show.
You'll thank me later.